This is John Paul Rai. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan, and today I'm talking about The High Republic, which is a new Star Wars novel, and I think it's going to be probably a show coming up. I have no starting point here. I've wanted to make a follow-up on this, and the thing is, well, my thumbnail says gold or trash or gold, but I think it's going to be trash. I tried to give it a chance, but when I saw some other videos, some concept art, stuff like that, it just looks like it's about as fun as watching wallpaper dry, which actually should be paint dry. Okay, you know what I mean. It looks bland as hell. Star Wars The High Republic team furious with Jon Favreau, The Mandalorian, and Luke Skywalker. Now there's been a rumor going around that first, Lucasfilms has like a civil war, and I think to a certain extent there's gotta be some truth to that. It's like they're an official, like, red side, blue side type thing, liberal conservative, fight it out thing. Probably there's not an actual war, but there must be people who are in the company, who have not been fired yet, who have kept quiet and done their job, and do not like the Disney Star Wars movies especially, and some of the other products. And I'm sure they've probably tried to do things behind the scenes to make Star Wars better, but of course you've got the Kathleen Kennedy people, the new people, the millennials, that kind of thing, who are just general writers and don't give a flying shit about Star Wars. So I think, regardless of rumors and whatever's out there, there's got to be some kind of infighting going on. Maybe just mentally, not verbally, but it's got to be there in some way, shape, or form. So here it is. It doesn't look like terrible, but then again, this is just like some alien and people in masks, so there's not so much to screw up here. I mean, that cover art doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look great. But out of context, I wouldn't see that and be like, oh, that's trash. I'd be like, okay, it's not really doing it for me, but fine. And then they go on to say that there's actually a mistake with the use of a lightsaber, how this person here is just kind of like hanging in a cliff with the lightsaber, which is kind of weird. So they also say that there's a species called Trandoshan, which has no limb, but they're supposed to regenerate limbs. So a very technical lore mistake on their part there. A lot of these rumors are coming from Pirates and Princesses, which is a site that claims to have an inside source from Disney. This one here looks a little bit kiddie to me. Is that what they're going for? Or are they going for an adult audience? What are they doing? It seems like very flimsy. I heard they were going to go for like this big wide open world with mega stories and mega connections, which is theoretically okay for Star Wars, but I think it's probably best to focus on certain characters, which is how Star Wars has worked well in the past. Focus on the Skywalkers, focus was on the Mandalorian, that worked out well. I don't know if we need these mega stories and mega connections. It doesn't seem like it's got a solid purpose, so I'm really skeptical this is going to be useful in any way, shape, or form. This person here, Justina Ireland, I was going to do a separate video on because she's constantly tweeting about white people, and they're negative. And she's writing this Star Wars High Republic. Now, why would you do that? Why would you constantly tweet out about putting down white people? What's the point? What's the end game here? What does she think the end game is going to look like in like 20 years of her life going by? What's that going to do? The only thing it could possibly do is hurt your relationship with like a certain percentage of people that you meet moving forward in your life. It makes no sense, especially for somebody who has a fan base with, well, white people in it. I wouldn't buy her books because of that. And actually, she said don't buy my books if you don't like what I'm saying. So I guess I won't be buying them, looking at them, and that gives me a hint that the High Republic will be high trash. Or low trash, whichever makes sense. They go on to describe the rumor a little bit more about the Civil War, and like I said, there's got to be something going on behind the scenes. That looks pretty cheesy. Now, I'm gonna just say it flat up. You know, I know it's supposed to be like a young adult novel, things like that. It's not supposed to be like a 40-year-old dude who wants to see just like badass blood and guts and decapitation. I get it, it's not for me. But having said that, it looks pretty cheesy. I mean, this dude's face here looks a lot like her face, and her face looks a lot like their face, and it's just bad art. Out of the Shadows. Ooh. Nice name. I bet no one's ever named anything Out of the Shadows before. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think down below, as my thumbnail said. So, sticking to my question, do you think the High Republic will be trash or gold? Obviously, it's going to be trash, but to entertain myself and to make a more interesting thumbnail, I put the gold in there. This is from Bounding to Comics, so cool website. Check them out once in a while. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. Doing shoutouts, special thanks, things like that. Shout out to Yellowbeard James. Also, shout out to D Pensick. They've been here for a long time supporting. And shout out to Max World Entertainment. Sorry, bro. Because he's a good supporter here too. If you're not subscribed, and you don't, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. Got some construction downstairs, I hope you didn't hear it, but even if you did, it's probably not that bad. I'm rambling, see you later.